Good afternoon, children.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We were discussing about different cell organelles and what are the different organelles that already we finished learning. Nikhila, what are the different organelles that we finished learning?
Endoplasmic reticulum,
Yes.
Golgi apparatus, then lysosomes and
Mitochondria. So mitochondria, lysosomes, Golgi apparatus and endoplasmic reticulum. We completed. Two more organelles are there for us to learn in this chapter. And the next one is about plastids. Have you heard about plastids?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What are plastids? Where have you learned? Last year?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you name a plastid?
Chloroplast.
Very good. Chloroplast.
Leucoplast.
Oh, you have last year you have learned?
Yes.
I think it was not in the textbook. I just explained, I think. Yes. Leucoplast, chloroplast, chromoplast. And what is the speciality of plastids? Are they found in all cells?
No,
only in
it is
plants.
found in
Plant cells.
Found only in plant cells. So let us learn more about plastids. So here you can see the picture of a plastid, that is chloroplast. Plastids are found only in plant cells. You can find them only in plant cells. They are absent in animal cells. And plastids consist of several membrane-bound layers. It consists of several membrane-bound layers. And these are present. Yes.
Ma'am, I can't see the screen.
What about others?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Just hold on. I'll just share it again. Now, can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. The plastids are found only in plant cells. They are absent in animal cells. And the plastids consist of numerous membrane-bound layers. And these layers are arranged in a fluid material, or they are present in a fluid matrix, which you call as stroma. So you don't have to learn in detail about the structure, but I'll tell you briefly about its structure. Plastids, they consist of numerous membrane-bound layers. It consists of numerous membrane-bound layers, and these layers are present in a matrix or a material known as stroma. And here in this figure, you can find chloroplast, and inside you can find, so it's covered by a double layered membrane. Outer membrane and inner membrane are present, and there is a fluid material present inside, which you call a stroma. And you can find so many coin-shaped structures which are stacked one above the other. Okay, it is not mentioned in your textbook. You don't have to learn. Just as an additional information, I'm mentioning it. And these structures are known as thylakoids, coin-shaped structures or small sac-like structures arranged one above the other in stacks. You call it as thylakoids. And one such pile of thylakoids you call as granum. Okay. Once again, I will show it here. So these coin-shaped structures you call as thylakoids. And one stack of thylakoids. So each one is known as thylakoid. And several such thylakoids are arranged in a pile, or they are stacked one above the other to form what is known as granum. Okay. And these are present within a material known as stroma. But you don't have to learn about thylakoids or granum. All that is not mentioned in your textbook. What you need to know is that it consists of several membranous layers. Numerous membrane layers are present in a material known as stroma. Once again, Plastids consist of numerous membrane layers present in stroma. And here on the right hand side, what you see is the picture of one such plastid, that is chloroplast. And inside chloroplast, you can see so many coin-shaped structures stacked one above the other. And these coin-shaped structures you call as thylakoids. And one such pile of thylakoids, a stack of thylakoids, you call as granum. And these are present inside a fluid matrix or a material known as stroma. And plastids, they have their own DNA and ribosomes. Just like mitochondria, they are also strange organelles having their own DNA and ribosome. So if it is asked, name the two organelles that have their own DNA and ribosomes, you can write mitochondria and plastids. Both have their own DNA and ribosomes, and hence they can synthesize their own proteins. So once again, plastids are found only in plant cells, and it consists of, or plastids consist of numerous membrane layers which are present in a matrix or a material known as stroma, and they have their own DNA and ribosomes just like that of mitochondria. Okay, now moving on to the types of plastids.
Ma'am,
Yes,
what is lumen?
lumen is a cavity or space within. Okay, you don't have to learn, that's why I didn't mention. Lumen means a space, the cavity present. Okay, it is, they have cut, and that thylakoids or granum, they have shown as a cut section, as a cross section. Means it is cut longitudinally, it is cut, and the space within, that is known as lumen. Okay, Amin?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. They can be broadly classified into chromoplast and leucoplast. Chromo, colored. Colored plastids and colorless plastids. Leuco is meaning is white, colorless. Leucoplast are colorless. They don't have any color. They don't contain any pigment. Whereas chromoplasts contain different pigments. They are colored plastids, and chloroplasts are green colored plastids. Chromoplasts have colors other than green, and chloroplasts are green in color. They are green colored plastids. So chromoplasts are colored plastids and leucoplasts are colorless plastids. Next point. Chromoplasts give different colors. You might have seen all parts of the plant, they are not green in color. Different parts are differently colored, different colors of fruits, like fruits, vegetables, flowers, all these are of different colors. So chromoplasts contain different pigments which give color to the different plant parts. So what is the function of chromoplast? To color different parts of the plant. Whereas the green colored plastids, you call them as chloroplasts. So in chromoplasts, we said they are colored, whereas chloroplasts contain green colored, or they contain green colored pigment. Chromoplasts contain pigments other than chlorophyll or other than the green pigment, whereas chloroplasts are plastids containing green pigment chlorophyll. What is its significance? What is the significance of this pigment? Chlorophyll. Are they of any use to the plants?
Yes, it helps in the production.
Helps in?
Photosynthesis.
What is its role specifically? Can you say how does it help in photosynthesis?
Catching sunlight.
Very good. They will trap the solar energy so that the plants can prepare food using it. They are found in green parts of the plant and they are essential for photosynthesis. Now, leucoplast, what function do they perform? They help in storing different materials like starch, oils, protein granule, oil, protein granules, starch, etc. will get stored in leucoplast. So I'll repeat the points again. We learned about types of plastids. chromoplast and leucoplast. Broadly, you can classify into chromoplast and leucoplast. Chromoplasts are colorful and leucoplasts are colorless. At the same time, we have chloroplast also, which contain green pigment. Chromoplast, chloroplast, and leucoplast. Chromoplast, they give different colors. Chromoplast, they impart different colors to plant parts, whereas chloroplasts are green colored plastids containing the pigment chlorophyll. They help the plants to trap solar energy and help in photosynthesis. They help in carrying out photosynthesis, whereas leucoplasts help in storing materials like starch, oil, protein granules, etc. So that was about plastids. Plastids are, what are plastids? They are cell organelles found only in plant cells. You cannot find them in animal cells. That is one major difference between plant and animal cells. Then they consist of numerous membranous layers. And where are these membrane layers present? In a fluid matrix or within a material known as stroma. They have their own ribosomes and DNA. Hence, they can synthesize their own proteins just like mitochondria. Then we learned about the three types of plastids: chromoplasts, leucoplasts, and chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are green colored. They contain chlorophyll, which help plants to trap solar energy and carry out photosynthesis. Chromoplasts impart colors to different parts of the plant. We see fruits, vegetables, flowers and all in diverse colors, and all these colors are due to the different pigments present in them. And then we have leucoplasts. Leucoplasts will help in storing substances like starch, oil, and protein granules. Okay, is that clear, children? So quickly summarize. Navneet, what are plastids? What do you know? What have you learned?
Ma'am, plastids consist of numerous membrane layers embedded in a material called stroma.
Stroma. Okay. Where do you find them? I mean, where can you find them? Where do you find them? In which cells?
Plant cells.
We can find them in plant cells. And what are the different types of plastids that we discussed? Nandana?
Ma'am, chromoplast and leucoplast.
And one more we discussed?
Ma'am, chloroplast.
Chloroplast. And the pigment present in chloroplast, Fadil, which pigment is present?
Ma'am, green pigment.
Name it. Name it.
Chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the green pigment present. And what is the role of chlorophyll? What is the role of chlorophyll?
Ma'am, it attracts the rays of the sun for photosynthesis.
It will trap solar energy. They will trap solar energy to carry out photosynthesis by plants. Then what else we learned? Give me the function of leucoplast.
Ma'am, ma'am, it helps. Ma'am, it helps of storing materials like oil, protein granules, and starch.
Okay, good. So that was about plastids. Now we are going to learn about the next organelle, that is, we are going to learn about vacuole. That is the last organelle that we need to learn this year. So let us quickly see the slides.
They contain DNA and ribosome.
Once again.
They contain DNA and ribosome.
Yes, plastids, they contain DNA and ribosomes like mitochondria. Okay, not vacuole, plastids. Okay, Ellen, any doubt?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Now, next is about vacuole. Vacuole are storage sacs. From the term itself, you can understand it is meant for storing substances. They help in storing substances. These are storage sacs for liquid and solid contents. Different solid and liquid contents get stored in these vacuoles. And here you can see the vacuoles present in plants as well as animal cell. Is there any difference between the vacuoles present in plant and animal cells? From the figure, any
In
idea?
plants, the vacuoles are larger.
Very
larger
good, very good,
In
very
animal
good.
cells,
Correct,
they are
correct
smaller.
observation. In plant cells, vacuoles are large in size, whereas in animal cell, the vacuoles are small in size. And you can see, because of the large sized vacuole at the center, the nucleus is pushed towards one side. So in plant cells, the nucleus is pushed towards the side due to the presence of a large vacuole, whereas in animal cell, you can find them at the center. In plant cells, the vacuoles are filled with a substance known as cell sap. So the vacuoles in plant cells, they are filled with a substance known as cell sap. They contain different nutrients, different substances are present in this cell sap. Once again, these are storage sacs and different solid and liquid substances are stored in it. And large vacuoles are found in plant cells, whereas in animal cells, small vacuoles are present. In plant cells, vacuoles are filled with cell sap. And now we are going to learn about the three functions of plastids. They serve different functions. So let's see what are the different functions of plastids. Starting with the first one, they provide rigidity and turgidity. Rigidity means stiffness. Turgidity is a state of being swollen. It's because of this, these vacuoles, they get rigidity and turgidity. Plant cells get rigidity and turgidity. Then they store substances like amino acids, sugars, different organic acids, and also proteins. Vacuoles help in storing amino acids, sugars, organic acids, and proteins. Children, is there any relation between or any connection between amino acids and proteins? How are they related? Anybody? No? Amino acids join together and form proteins. Amino acids are the building blocks of proteins. So several amino acids join together and form protein. So amino acids, proteins, sugars, different organic acids, etc. will get stored in the vacuoles. Once again, vacuoles provide rigidity and turgidity to the plant cells. Second point, they store sugars, amino acids, organic acids, proteins, etc. So here you can see a picture where a plant cell is having a large vacuole at the center, pushing the nucleus towards one side, and the different substances stored also. So the nucleus is pushed towards one side and a centrally placed vacuole with the different substances present in it. Now let's see what function is carried out by vacuoles in unicellular animals. Amoeba, paramecium. These are some unicellular organisms. So here you can see some organelles. And these organelles are named as contractile vacuoles and food vacuole. Food vacuole already have learned, I think, in this chapter itself in the beginning. Hope you're remembering. Okay. Amoeba takes in food and this food will form a vacuole, and within the food vacuole, the food will get digested. So in unicellular organisms like amoeba and paramecium, they have specialized vacuoles which help them in digesting food. For example, food vacuole, and the vacuoles also help in removing excess water and also waste materials. You call them as contractile vacuoles. You don't have to learn the name of these vacuoles, but you should know the function. In unicellular organisms like amoeba and paramecium, specialized vacuoles are present, which will help in digesting food and expelling the excess water and waste materials. Okay, children? Clear? 3 functions.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody is having doubt? Anybody? All the 3 points have you got?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good, good, good. Let me see whether you have understood. So, Pooja, what did you understand about vacuoles? Vacuoles are
Storage sacks
storage sacks. And what do they store?
for solid or liquid.
Solid and liquid substances get stored in the vacuoles. Then, what is the main difference between the vacuoles present in plant and animal cells, Alan? I can't hear you, child. Nivedya?
Ma'am, in plants, vacuoles in plants are bigger and the vacuoles in animals are smaller.
Smaller in size. Okay. Then we learned about the different functions of vacuoles. 3 functions we learned. 1 function, Vaishnavi. Jairus, get ready with the 2nd function. Yes.
And they provide rigidity and turgidity for the plants.
Plant cells. They provide rigidity and turgidity to the plant cells. And Jairus, 2nd point.
Miss, they store various types of sugars and amino acids.
Amino acids, proteins, organic acids, etc. Okay, 3rd function. 3rd function, Anandita.
Specialized vacuoles are present in unicellular organisms like amoeba that help in digesting food, expelling excess water and waste.
Yes, expelling it also. These vacuoles present in unicellular organisms. Say, for example, food vacuoles and contractile vacuoles help in digesting food and also in expelling the excess water and waste materials. Okay, so we have completed the topic cell organelles. Now only one more topic is remaining, that is cell division, that we will learn next class. And now we are going to have the test, revision test. I will post the link in the chat box and do it and send me as early as possible. 10 minutes you have, 10 questions, 10 minutes more than enough. So all are ready now? I didn't get an answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Hope you got the link.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, my video will get off, ma'am.
It's okay. It's okay. So thank you, children. See you next class.